The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
I mean,
I'll die.
it just depends, though.
No.
But they're not big meals. Don't tell me you eat it like a whole buffet.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
She's little bitty. Huh?
It looks like we're eating after this.
Yeah, little bitty. No
and I
way.
ate before. I'm already hungry.
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna go eat after this. All right. So again, the continuing with beans, very rich in nutrients. If you don't know, if you ever wanted to take a break from meat or whatever the case, you can always substitute with beans. Nothing wrong with that. About the beans were taken to Europe back in the 1600s. So it would have been the Spaniards or the Portuguese came. And in the 1600s, that's when they shipped over the beans to Europe. And then from Europe, again, they went back to the States. And during that time, it's said that the reason why the colonies were able to be prosperous is because of beans. Because they grow fairly fast. And then they're very, like, they whenever you grow beans, they have a lot of nitrogen that they put into the soil. So if you have a lot of nitrogen to the soil, it benefits all the plants around it. So that's the reason why they said that it was very, very beneficial for the colonists at that time. Whenever they came and they brought the beans over, that at that time is one of the reasons why they were able to survive and prosper. Can you believe that?
That's pretty cool.
I think it's possible because a lot of the times, a lot of the plants that they had, I mean, from what I remember from school, like there's a reason why we had. Well, they sold that Thanksgiving happened or whatever, but they were going through some hard times. You know, it wasn't the nicest times ever. And then somehow they had to find food, and eventually beans were the ones that kept them going for some time. Which, again, a lot of fiber, protein that you don't need to eat a lot of. And they're gluten-free for all the people that are gluten-free. You know what I mean? So, awesome. So I talked about the podcast last time. You know how they say we can't ever find the perfect diet, or everybody's like they were trying to sell a diet, whether it's the keto diet, the paleo, and whatever the case. You know why I think?
There's so many.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I've never really looked into it because I definitely don't need to be on a diet.
So I have a lot of theories, right? I do have a lot of theories. I think some of my theories are going to take off and going to be proven factual one of these days. My theory on this is that, okay, whatever you believe in, right? Whether you believe that civilization originated in Africa and it started moving to Europe and things like that, and then all over the world, or whether you believe that in the Bible and there's Adam and Eve and it was supposedly was the Middle East, right? That's where they began. So, and if you think about it, that's kind of disgusting because all of us are related somehow, and brothers. There was only two. Then eventually they had to. That's what happens to animals, you know that, right? They mate amongst each other, and then they just keep populating. And then, but I'm just saying, if it was only two of them originally, then you know what happened.
We're all related.
They're all related somehow, some weird way, very, very far distant. But anyways, so back to my theory. So what I think is happening is that, okay, so whatever theory you believe or whatever belief you believe there, whether it was from Africa or the Middle East, and if you keep spreading people over from different countries and continents, then eventually their type of diet was different, and then they keep spreading in different places, you know? So let's say for myself, let's say if I'm Mexican, for all I know I'm Mexican, but I feel like for whatever reason I have some Asian in me. And, you know, you can see I might be a little chinito, but maybe not so much European blood in me. And a lot of the times, Asians and Africans, they really don't accept milk like that because they didn't used to consume milk. It was mostly a European thing. So if you don't have that gene of the European side, then most likely you're going to be lactose intolerant. You know what I mean? So all those things, little pieces add up. So whatever you are now, you just literally have to trace all your ancestry back to wherever the heck you came from to really know what are you able to eat or not. And we don't have a test like that. I know they have ancestry. Have you ever seen those ancestry tests?
Yeah,
Have you ever
saw
considered?
one today. I don't know.
Why? You scared to know you're gonna be?
No, I don't. I wouldn't believe it.
Why?
Because there's no way ancestry. They don't know me.
I think they know up to. I think they limit it still right now,
Mm.
and I don't trust them yet because they are too. They don't have enough regulations that they can do whatever they want with your DNA once you provide it to them.
That's true too.
So they can make a twin, or they can make something else
The
of you.
government's out to get us already.
I don't know if it's the government. They're actually a separate entity, but at the same time, I wouldn't trust them with my DNA because I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Can you imagine? All
I'll
of a
see
sudden,
myself one day.
yeah. All of a sudden, like, what the heck? Like you, Lady Gaga. Like what? Yeah, I don't trust them. But
Yeah.
it is kind of interesting to know where, like, for me, I would. My dad doesn't. He's not very interested because I told him I brought it up. I wanted to just do it, and he's like, who cares?
You should do it and then put it on an episode.
I am gonna do it, but I need to find the correct company, the right company that has they're ethical as far as taking your DNA, doing whatever they need to, and just disposing of it, not keeping it for other stuff and other research and different things like
Yeah.
that. See, I don't like that. And I think
That's
there is
sketchy.
some. I think there is some company I just need to do more research. But if I do it, I will go through the whole thing. I'll share it with all my families. But you know what? Okay, so you know what I'm afraid of, and it's not like a fear, but it's a concern. So where I'm from, it's a small town. It's a fairly small town, and there's a lot of relatives that I didn't know they were relatives,
Uh-huh.
and I can see how somewhere in there I will find real close people. There, people are married to each other or had kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I'm concerned with that. One of my cousins wants to do it, and I told her, like, okay, if you want to do it, go ahead. And I told her the spiel about, they're selling they do whatever they want with your stuff, so just be careful. But get ready for whatever you discover within there, because you might be shocked to find something, that, especially, again, coming from the little bitty town that we're from. You'll be like, yeah, what? That's my uncle.
Uh-oh.
That's my cousin. What? I'm telling you. You don't think that will happen?
Probably.
So you see,
if it is a small town.
you don't risk that because you were born here in Dallas, and unless something funny happened with your family and nobody talks about it, then maybe you're good. But for me, I think there's something. Yeah. But you know what I will find? I find for me, like, what do you know as far as how far back do you know in your family?
Pretty far because I always tell people I was born late. So my grandma, not my great grandma, but my grandma,
Your
she
grandma.
was 95 years old.
Right.
So she was born in 1895. And she made it all the way to 2002 when I was 12.
Wow.
So I didn't get to know her that well, but I could say that I knew someone from the 1800s.
So how old was she?
She was almost 107.
Golly.
So if she was alive today, she would have been in her 120s.
Yeah. The max they found that we can live is 135.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try that.
That's what they said. Me too. I
Let's
thought
see who
80.
gets there first.
I thought 80 back in the days, but I think I'm shooting for more. But
I
you
want to
know,
be at least 100.
you know what they move into now, right? As
What?
far as mortality and things like that, they're trying to put our whole minds into a chip.
Oh, I
and
heard that.
Keep us alive like that. Do you want to live forever, really? You don't want
That
this
long.
to end?
Just
You know what
till
I
I'm
mean?
100.
I thought the idea of being a vampire was pretty cool. But then after a while, I'd be like,
But they kill people.
yeah, they do kill people. And they convert people over to vampires. But after a while, I'd be like,
Did you never be able to go to the beach?
that too, all
Or
those
just
stuff.
You'll burn and die.
Yeah, maybe not.
That wouldn't be fun.
I think maybe it was a kid idea. Okay, so, what were we talking about before? I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. The 100. So you were saying your grandma lived to 107? Your great grandma lived to
Not my
100.
grandma. She
Your-
wasn't my great grandma.
Your grandma lived to 107.
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, she, in her hundreds, she still remembered, a lot of details. But I didn't know that much Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And she only spoke Spanish, and I was kind of shy back then to speak in Spanish. But, now that I'm older, I wish
Yeah.
I could have known her better and tell my dad, hey, ask her this question or, tell me more about her while she's still here.
1895. you serious? That's
Yeah.
wild.
She made it to 2002.
Okay. And what do you know about her as far as just, you know, like the things that you're, because again, I know you said you couldn't communicate with her, but what did your dad told you about her, or what do you remember?
He told me that, like, when she met my grandpa, he was born in 1890, so they were only 5 years apart.
Jesus. Is
They
he still
had-
around?
No, he's
He
not.
passed away too? Bro, 107, her grandma.
And her sister actually made it to, like, I think it was 111.
111 years old?
Yeah.
Bro, I think one of my grandmas did make it to past 100 too. But what happened with my grandma, because she was in Mexico, they a lot of during the revolution, they burned a lot of their documents, so they didn't really have documents like birth certificates and nowhere. But I think I'm almost for certain one of my grandmas was over 100, 102, I think.
Wow.
Bro, we got good genes. You know, we're gonna make it far. I don't know about you.
Before cars were.
Huh?
She was born before cars.
When were cars around?
Like 1900s.
Your grandma was before cars. Did you know that?
No.
Wow. He's gonna tell us here in a second.
I knew already
Before
that she had
cars.
to walk around all of the U.S., you know, to all the crops, like getting crops, all the farms.
Well, the first
And she would go with 15 children.
car was in 1886, and that was
But it wasn't the main car, right? Like the industrial car. Anyways, it was close enough. It was a couple years off.
first line production car.
Yeah, the line production car was probably later. That's Henry Ford who began that. I know that for sure. Jesus, 107, and then 102, and then I'm almost for certain. I gotta double check with my grandma was 102 also.
So 1913 was the first production car.
Yeah, 1913. That is wow.
So my grandma was 18.
Older than cars,
She was 18 when the car came out.
bro.
Wow.
You know the average human expectancy, I think, is 78 to 82. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and it went down this year because of the pandemic and everything, but it's only 78 to like 82 or something.
I heard there's one person still alive that I think it was that she's 122 or 23. Somewhere in, I think, Asia.
Oldest person alive.
It's 122, I believe. Yeah, I seen that too. I believe I seen it too.
Oldest parent who ever lived was 118.
Nah, there's somebody living right now that's 120 something, bro. I know that for sure too. I heard it. I seen it somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, there's somebody in Asia.
From Japan.
So, if I'm not mistaken, according to, if you interpret however you want to interpret the Bible, there's certain people that were lived up to like 200, 500 years old.
134.
I'm going for 115.
I'm going for 125.
You know what? Screw him. Screw him. I'm just gonna get a chip, transfer my memory over to an
Live
AI,
forever.
and that's it. I'm gonna live to whenever my battery runs out. Okay, so what else did you know about your family? Your grandma. That's pretty cool though. 107.
Yeah.
What else did you know about your family?
I know that her and my grandpa, they went around to many fields
Collecting crops, you say, right?
with all their kids.
15 kids?
15 kids.
Yeah,
Can
that
you
used
imagine
to be the
15
days.
kids and no car?
My grandma had 12 kids, so I can imagine. That's back in the
Can't
days.
imagine. Now these days, people think 4 is a lot.
My grandma had 12 kids. Carlos on his way.
Bless you.
Carlos on his way. He has 4. He almost has a. You have 2 kids or 4? 2 kids? You only have 2 kids? Well, I thought you had 4. I don't know why I thought you had 4. You're falling behind, bro. You need to step it up. Snip, snip. I can't do it. I can't be a man. Like, anyways, that's a different conversation. All right. So, and they went all in the U.S., all around the U.S.
Yeah.
Or so they were from here then. They were from the U.S.
Yeah, my dad's side, they always told me that they were here, but like they never left Texas since it was Mexico.
Yeah.
But I was like, technically, we're from Mexico, because
Yeah.
It was
Mexico.
But there's always a debate on that also.
Like your family debate? Like, okay, so what's the debate?
If we're like Mexican from Mexico. Because some say, like, well, we were already here. I'm like, yeah, but here wasn't always here. It was Mexico.
Well, your grandma was lived during that time when it was still Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
So she was Mexican. Now, anybody, okay, so the way that I look at it, it would be like up to the point when it was Mexico, when the U.S. hadn't taken over. If you were born there, it's Mexico. Whether it was here in Texas, geographically, but technically in the record books, it still says Mexico. You're from Mexico. But once the U.S. cheated Mexico out of the Mexico, then it became the U.S. So if you were born here, even though previously before it was Mexico, you technically are now an American. And they might want to go with that because if somebody gets a hold of an idea, like if you were born here and it was technically Mexico, then you're Mexican, so you need to go back to where you came from. I'm just saying. So they might want to say, yeah, it's U.S. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I watched the movie. I talk about the movie often because I think it's really good. Mi Familia. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's on YouTube. It's for free. It's starring Jennifer Lopez way back in the days, one of her earlier roles.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, and the guy from Friday, the Joker, the one with the mini, No More Locked Doors, the guy, him, starting him. So that was way back in the beginning. So one of the guys, his name is an older gentleman. His name is El Californio because he was born in California, and they call him Californio. And when he died during the movie, but he said on his tomb he wanted to write, "Here lies such and such, aka El Californio. When I was born here, this was Mexico, and when I died, it was still Mexico." And they buried him on the back of the cornfield in the house, way back in the days too. Yeah, probably around your grandma's time, 18 something I think it was. 107, bro. I'm still tripping out on that. Bro, you better step it up. Because if you want to live to 80 at least, bro, you need to hit them weights. Carlos, we trying to get good content here. And what?
So I'm good at 16.
16 what?
60 years.
60? You're trying to live 60 years old.
I'm trying to be old and wrinkled.
What are you shooting for, you said?
120, 25.
125? I'm gonna...
Especially if like I have a bad back and I'm like in pain all the time. That takes me out.
But you gotta be in shape. You gotta stay in shape. You gotta get in shape, Carlos.
Where's the soccer player who was in the best shape of his career that just
Had a heart attack? No, he was straining his heart a lot too, probably. I'm not telling you, Carlos, to go do a triathlon. I'm telling you just to maintain.
Fatter people are happier.
That's what they say. Have you ever seen a person that's obese? I'm not gonna call him fat. Have you ever seen an obese person that's dead? Are they smiling?
I mean, I am.
So that's what you want to do? Anyways. All right, we get carried away with that. So anyways, that was the any final thoughts that you can think of as far as beans, the contribution. So it's crazy to me that, so this is the Global Latin Factor. As I mentioned before, we talk about everything Latino related, bringing guests to talk about their story. And I appreciate you coming out and letting us know a little bit about you as a DJ. And good luck to everything you do. I know you stay busy.
Thanks.
I know you had a busy weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And persistence, and always keep at it, because that's the only way that you make it happen. Just keep at it. So I do appreciate. I learned a whole lot more about you, even though I know you for years.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool to know a lot of the things that you told me, and the fact that you are real similar to DJ Bembona. That is wild to me.
I was
that you have
surprised.
so many similarities to me. And then I again, it's pretty cool of the way that your family supported you, is the way that her family supported her. I think we need a lot more of that in the Latino community. If you're a parent, a young parent, support your kids. Tell them they can conquer the world if they want to. Like, whatever they want to, just give it a try. Let them try it out at least, you know? What else is going to happen? They're going to fail? And then how many people became okay, so there's example. I don't know if it's factual or not, but the light bulb, right? The guy that invented the light bulb, it took him like 1,000 tries, and on the 1,001 try, finally, he created the light bulb. It took him that many failures, and I'm pretty sure I'm a little off on the numbers. It took that many tries to get it wrong, to actually finally get it right. How many
He
tries
never
was
gave
it?
up.
50,000
Oh, wow.
times, even more. 50,000 tries to try to make a light bulb for us to enjoy now that we take it for granted. They're not even the same
We
light bulb
do.
that we used to anymore. Just like we take beans for granted. That one time, if it wasn't for beans, maybe even the U.S. wouldn't be here. Things like that. And they never gave up on them. So if you are a young parent, or even if you're an older parent, like just support them with everything that you have. Let them try it out, and then eventually they'll find whatever they want to. I don't think it's the way to just have them get them ready for go to a job and just do that and just work, go home, raise kids. That's just I don't know.
That's
It's
not
just
fun.
it's not my vibe. It's not going to be fun. Period, because it's just not gonna happen no more. I
Me
can't go
too.
back in time. But at the same time, it's so important. I feel like even not being a parent, to be able to know that you have support, and then they can go and be president, whatever. Like have their own business, entrepreneur. Let them fail. There's nothing wrong with failing. There's really nothing wrong. How many things that you tried out that you failed on so far?
A lot.
I've tried a lot.
I
things
even
too.
thought, DJing, I wasn't going to get anywhere.
And you kept at it though, right?
Yeah.
You kept at it. You didn't give up.
No, I'm
Yep.
still not where I want to be, but at least I'm going somewhere.
Well, I did a gig with you before, and then I remember I was in your first gig, your first club gig. I was there at your first club gig.
I remember.
I remember that. And then from that time that I met you years ago to the last time that I did a gig for you, that I MC for you, or having equipment and having everything, you came a long way. You know what I mean? Because a lot of DJs, and I'm going to have another DJ later on, but a lot of DJs don't understand that it takes investing in yourself, getting equipment and getting things
Yeah.
ready, so that way you can go into the next and staying persistent and continue working on your craft. What does it mean about working on your craft, right? Supposedly, it's 10,000 hours to master anything, meaning that you have to put in that many hours to eventually become a master of whatever subject that you want to. So if you feel like this generation nowadays, that they feel like they see an Instagram or whatever, and all of a sudden that person all of a sudden they just made it easy. It's not like one-off, maybe, that they get lucky, that maybe they catch a break and they become all of a sudden viral. But how long is that going to last them if they don't have anything to back them up? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Maybe
long.
the Catch Me Girl last time, but she still has to go to the but she still has to go to the studio and different things like that and make appearances and things. So there's still work behind it. It's not like money comes to you all the time. I mean, there is services like that, but I don't know all of us are within that mindset to be able to just have it come to us. If you don't even, first of all, if you don't meditate, if you don't do affirmations and different things like that, then you're just expecting to come to you without having even that type of work to be done, you're not going to get anywhere.
No.
And you have to put in the hours if you really want to become good at it. And like I told the little young man last time, the boxer that was here with us, Emmanuel Manny, shout out to him, that Canelo started boxing when he was young and kept working at it. Even though the coaches saw raw talent and they knew he was going to be good, when they brought him to the gym, he had no technique. He had power, but he didn't move his hands, he didn't move his hips, but he stayed disciplined and he put in hours and hours and hours of working on that. That's what it means, working on your craft, working on whatever it is, whether you're an artist, a painter, a rapper, whatever it is. If you don't write, if you don't freestyle enough, if you don't DJ practice and get your set ready, then you're going to fail. And if you're not ready to fail, that means if you're ready to fail and accept it, that means it wasn't for you, because then your heart is not in it. You know?
Yeah.
How many times do you feel like quitting?
A lot.
And how many
my
times?
mom knows.
And how many times do you shook it off and got on top of it? You know what I mean? So it's
Every
in your
time.
heart to do so. Because if it wasn't, that you would not, from the first, maybe second time that you would have quit, it would have been a wrap.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gone back to it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's actually how I knew that DJing was what I want to do, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's the only thing that I've actually stuck with for years. I've never. It's more than a job.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, if I stick to this even more than a job, then it's something that I really want to do.
No, it makes a lot of sense. That's a good way to see it, because it does make a lot of sense. Because if it wasn't in your heart to do so, you would have quit and you would never go back, and
Yeah.
you're still at it.
Just like those jobs I left.
Yo, you
Never
know what?
went back.
I'm different. I'm just more of a loyal to the job, and I don't want to say too much because I'm still employed. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
You want to stay employed?
I'm a good employee. I'm a good employee, and I'm gonna keep it like that because I'm military. I'm not knocking 9 to 5s or whatever job you work. It's cool, but it's cool to dream and work on different side things to better yourself. You know, whether it's so not only T-shirt, chancla, survivor. We came out with the concept because I'm ex-military, so this one might resemble you to I forget one of the other military shirts. So I have shirts that I do, you know, and I do sell and little side hustles and different things like that. So, you know, stay persistent on this podcasting. For whatever I like doing, like you said, I've done my own show online, I've done the terrestrial radio, and then I like the Latino. I like that I already know a lot about Latino things, and I like to learn things like the being part that, you know, helps us so much that, like you, like it's in my heart to do things like that, because otherwise I would have just abandoned it and wouldn't do it, because I have tried different things and they haven't paid out. But I'm persistent and continue to find something that I enjoy, and I like doing this. I like it. I like the podcast. I like the fact that we get to talk about Latinos. I like the fact that, like the last time we had the gentleman, I can, you know, give them a little tips or just let them know even the difference of why they call us Latinos and Hispanics and things like that, you know. So it's pretty cool. And if you ever, you know, the link is going to be for the shirt if you want to check it out. And she has another shirt too. What? Look at that thing. That's pretty. It's also going to be on the link. It's also going to be in the link so you can check it out. And real quickly, where's all your social media? Where can they find you? How can they book you?
I'm usually on Instagram, which is DJ_Virah, Virah, or on Facebook. Just look up DJ Virah.
Yep, you'll find her everywhere. Most of the time on a gig that we have.
Got more coming up.
Yeah, we have more gigs coming up. All right. So this is the Global Latin Factor podcast. And remember, we are just like you. We're just people. We're just the spice in this global melting pot that it is the world. We'll see you next time on the next episode. Adios. Mucho amor.